Hey, Juicy.
What's going on?
How you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Yeah.
Enjoying this beautiful scenery here in the Ozark National Forest.
Yeah, it's gorgeous today.
It is.
Well, we wanted to do a video. We get a lot of questions on our channel about riding in Northwest Arkansas.
Yes.
So I thought we'd do a little like beginner visitor.
Just a little bit of info that we can provide, hopefully clarify some things or create more questions. Who knows?
Yeah, we are not professionals. We're just people.
Nope, just normal people.
We're just people that love to ride.
That's right.
And we enjoy sharing our passion here on ATV Amy of riding with y'all.
Yes.
So we thought we would do this video, and we get asked all the time where to ride in Arkansas.
Yep. We live near the Mill Creek Trail System. We ride it quite often on the area around it also. Mill Creek has roughly 40 to 50 miles, I believe, of trails. It has a outer blue loop, and then it's some inner ones. One is I guess an orange on the map maybe, and then there's some white ones that cut through different parts of it.
Yeah.
I would say Mill Creek is a good spot to do some more technical trails. It's got some big hill climbs. It's got some easy parts too, some pretty good mud holes. But overall, it's a really good trail. I would say it's a little more than a novice trail. I think you need to be a fairly experienced rider.
Yeah.
Going through it. But, you know, the first couple times we went there, it was a little intimidating. But once we did it a little bit, it wasn't bad once we figured out how to do things.
Yeah.
I would say the next trail system that we greatly enjoy or recommend in this area would be Buckhorn. It has roughly, I think, 60 miles.
Yeah, it's the largest.
It is the largest in Arkansas as far as the OHV trail system. It has basically, it's split in half. There is one side, which is the yellow side, or yellow loop they call it. And it has several loops in and throughout of it, tying into it. And then the other side is the blue loop. The blue loop pretty much just makes some loop. It does have some inner ones way up in the top of it. And those ones just kind of go, circle back and go right back to the blue loop. You can ride from Mill Creek area all the way over to Buckhorn. It is a long ride. It's mostly roads to get there with some pavement and a good mix of county roads and dirt roads.
Yeah.
The other one we greatly enjoy going to is Moccasin Gap.
Yeah.
That one is 30 miles of trails, I think.
30 to 40.
30 to 40 also. Moccasin Gap is definitely got some a little more tight and technical trails. I think originally it used to just be horse trails, and then they kind of converted it over to four-wheeler trails, and then as side-by-sides became more popular, they started running them too. But it is doable and everything, but it's probably a little more of the tighter trail systems that we've ever run out here. There's all kinds of trails out and around it also, with some good points of interest to go see, waterfalls and overlooks.
Yeah.
And creeks.
All right, Juicy. So now that we've talked about how big these trail systems are, what else you know about those?
There is actually one more trail system that we've never been to that's to the far east of the Ozark National Forest, and that's a Brock Creek area. Don't know much about it. I wish we did, but maybe in the future we could make a trip out there and explore it so we can get a little more knowledge.
There is a lot of off the beaten paths. Like you have Poto Mountain and
yes.
Bellstar
yep.
trails, and there's the K Trail in Oklahoma. Lots of.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
I feel like Arkansas and Oklahoma are really very much side-by-side ATV friendly locations.
Just off-road friendly in general. They got a lot of different trails.
Yeah. They've recently actually changed the law here in Arkansas where it kind of opens it up to us more as side-by-side riders.
Yeah, so now that they've changed the law that requires rear turn signals, a valid driver's license, and
registration.
And it must have insurance. And that allows us to get out onto the roads more. You can't go on the roads that are over 55, I believe, for speed limit. But
yeah.
That opens up for going a lot more different, just regular roads and county roads.
Yeah, because before it was like 3 mile. It's like
you can only go like 3 miles from trailhead to trailhead.
Yeah, it was like a gray area.
Yeah, but it wasn't like something very enforced, so they passed that law to kind of help clarify all that a little better.
Now there are towns in Arkansas that are not side-by-side friendly, so if you're going somewhere, you should definitely Google it.
Yes, and check and see if they are. I feel like a lot of them are getting to be a lot more side-by-side friendly.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially with the new law.
If you were planning a trip to come here to Northwest Arkansas, how the heck would you pick where to go and stay?
Great question. Some of it's going to depend on how long you're staying for. But I say if you were going to do the normal average 4 to 5 day trip, I would probably recommend the Mill Creek area. It is a good pivot point that you can travel either the trail systems in Mill Creek or travel over to Buckhorn or even travel towards Moccasin Gap. It's kind of a long distance between each one, but there's trails in and throughout. So I would say the Mill Creek area would be the best pivot point.
Yeah.
If you had more days, I would say it would be fun to camp like in Buckhorn for a couple days, run the trails in the area around, and then move on over to this area for a couple days.
Yep.
Camp out, stay lodging, whatever, do this area, and then move on over to Moccasin Gap.
Yeah, that would be epic.
That would be a good overall long trip, and you get to see just about everything at that point.
Yeah, there are so many trails around there. You could go a month probably.
Yes.
And still.
I think the other thing to be knowledgeable of is the MVUM map is very confusing. Finding the right map out here definitely helps. We do use Gaia. Gaia is really good as far as showing a lot of the roads and the trails. Some of the trails are closed and it kind of shows that. But then again, it's not very informational as far as which ones we are supposed to be on as far as side-by-sides go.
Yeah.
The other one we use is Onyx. We pretty much only use Onyx for tracking. The tracking side of it does very well and doesn't crash where the other ones kind of tend to.
Yeah.
We've found the least amount of problems with it. As far as a mapping for Onyx, it'll get you on the roads, but I don't know that it's always very accurate as to how old the roads are or if they're even ones you're supposed to be on.
Yeah.
Our other one that we use quite a bit is the Venza map with the Mid-South UTV one that was created on there for side-by-sides and four-wheelers and dirt bikes. That one actually is made by a certain person who made it that shows everything and reflects the MVUM map and where we are supposed to be.
Color-coded with POIs.
Color-coded with POIs and everything. Maybe you could put a little pop-up kind of showing it, but
yeah,
that'd be kind of cool. That was probably the one that we use the most for reference, but it does very well within the Ozark National Forest. You get outside of it, and it doesn't really show all the roads for out there. As
far as trails in Arkansas, what's the terrain like?
Ooh, that's a good one. You have to touch base on each trail system. We can start with Buckhorn. So Buckhorn is very, very rocky on the west side, or the yellow side, the yellow loop side. It's got a lot of hill climbs, definitely a lot of really, really hard-packed, rocky trails. If you get over the blue loop side, it's not as rocky on parts. It's got some smooth stuff, but I would say as far as that whole trail system, it's a lot of rock.
Yeah. We call it Rockhorn.
We call it Rockhorn. As far as Mill Creek goes, it's got a lot of rock too, but there's a lot of sections that's pretty smooth going through like the I guess the pine forest area.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of mud holes for both. Some of the mud holes are bottomless, I guess you could say.
Yeah, there's some sleeper holes.
Yeah, and some of that's just come from all the years of people trying to go through them and digging them out, and because of the soil type, I don't know that it ever really fills back in. So
yeah,
they get to be full of water, and they could be 4 foot deep for all you know.
Yeah.
Mill Creek is very rocky also. I'd say it's probably more rocky than there is smooth throughout the whole system of it.
Yeah.
Moccasin Gap trails are not as rocky, but they're definitely a lot more technical and maybe a little less maintained.
Yeah.
Which makes some of them very rogue in a way.
And it's easy to get turned around in Moccasin Gap. We get lost there all the time, I feel like.
Yeah, so with Moccasin Gap, they did a lot of like little loops onto each color-coded side of the trail. It's kind of hard to explain. You'd almost have to see it on the map, but it gets very easy to get turned around in there. You could be on a yellow loop, and you could be wandering around just on that yellow loop and never get out of it just because of the way it's laid out, and there's no points in there to go, oh, I've been by this or I haven't been by this, so it gets to be confusing.
And we've been on a trail before and we're like, boy, this feels really tight, and then we come out and it says horse traffic only, and we're like signs only on one side of the trail.
Yeah, I'd say the signage is not the best there.
Yeah.
The other trail systems are pretty much, they got little diamond plates up on the trees, and they're pretty well colored and clear as to where you are or not at. So I'd say the overall terrain of all three are very, I mean, Arkansas in general is very rocky.
Yeah.
Very, very rocky.
Yeah.
Even the road travel here on the dirt roads going through the mountains, it's rocky.
Yeah. I feel like there's more waterfalls in Mill Creek.
Yes.
Now there are some in Buckhorn too, but a lot of them rely on weather.
Waterfalls there at Buckhorn are not very many. Now Buckhorn does have some really good creek spots.
Yes.
Lee Creek, where it's got a lot of different swim holes.
And Fall Creek, which is beautiful, clear water creek.
Yes. I'd say as far as swimming goes, like if you just want to get out and swim and all that, Buckhorn's probably the better.
Yeah, that's a great trail, like if you're going in the summer, I feel like.
Yes.
Yeah, whereas Mill Creek, I mean, we are by Mulberry River, but...
Yeah, but as far as in Mill Creek, there isn't really that many swimming spots.
No.
You know, there's some creeks and stuff, but they're not like swimming.
Yep.
Moccasin Gap, I guess it's got a lot of water crossings, but I don't think it really has any swim holes either, unless you get on the outskirts of it.
Yeah.
But I can't think of any other explanation of the terrain around here.
It's rocky. Rocky and hills.
Rocky and hills, yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Lots and lots.
What about when people come from out of state? Do they need to buy a permit, or what do they need to do?
So each trail system has a day permit, they call it. It's $3 per buggy per day, and it's only required in those trail systems. You do not have to have a permit or anything to travel outside of those trail systems on the roads.
Yeah, you just pay that fee at the trailheads.
Yes, I think you can go. Is there an online? But I think you got a call to get. Like
the online
yearly
is
pass.
not very good.
Yeah, it's not very good. There is pay kiosks at each trail system. Usually right at the main trailhead, typically.
Yeah. As far as coming from out of state, how would you find somewhere to stay around here?
So each trail system definitely has some different campgrounds and lodging around them. Buckhorn's got 2 or 3 over that way. They do not have any like restaurants or anything real close to the trail system. You can travel some roads to go down into a couple of the towns that you could eat and get food. Mill Creek's got camping and lodging all around it also. All different sides. There is some places to eat right near Mill Creek, which would be Combs and St. Paul, and I guess Paradise Pizza down or Paradise
over in Ozark too.
Yeah. Moccasin Gap, they've got some campgrounds definitely near there. One of them is right beside the trail system. That one's pretty popular to go to. We've been there many times. As far as a place to eat out that way, maybe only Hillbilly Slims that I could think of.
Yeah, I think there's some other little gas stations that might have.
Yes, I think some of them have opened up some places there.
Yeah.
One thing to be mindful of with the Airbnbs, find out where they are exactly in relation to the trail systems. We've had a lot of people say, oh yeah, we're staying at Airbnb, can you meet us there and then take us to the trail system? And it's like, well, where's that? And you find out and it's like 40 miles from the trail system. And they don't always explain it well. So I would recommend try and get a geographical location of it so you can see it and how far it is to the trail system and what it takes to travel from it to it, whether you got a trailer or ride your buggy.
Yeah, that's true. Wow, Juicy, that was a lot of information.
It is.
Yeah, thanks for sharing all that about Arkansas. Arkansas is like really cool for riding, but I feel like it's not really promoted for tourism here.
No,
like not like the Hatfield and McCoys and all that. I think like it's the underdog of the off-roading community.
Almost in a sense that the state itself doesn't want to know you can come out here and enjoy all this.
Yeah, so
they definitely do not promote it or anything.
Yeah, we've talked to couples that have traveled all over the US and they've never been off-roading here.
Yes.
So it just kind of tells us that it's an underdog area for off-roading, but really, I mean, it is a hidden gem. Like,
yes,
so much national forest. Now it is national forest. These aren't private trails. You don't pay to ride on them, so there are rules that you must follow. So you want to be vigilant of that and Google all of that and make sure that you follow the rules.
Yes.
Because there is forestry out here and they do patrol the area. So if you do something wrong, you can potentially get a high dollar ticket.
Yep.
Helmets aren't required.
Nope.
Unless you're like on a four-wheeler and you're like under 16 or something, or I don't even know, something with ATVs.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Yes. I would recommend wearing a helmet on an ATV anyway.
Exactly. So definitely Google all of the laws before you come here.
The cool thing about Arkansas and the way it is here, the mountains are very big and vast, but they're not super tall. And I feel like it's so heavily wooded that you feel in it. It's not like other states where they got taller mountains and it's a lot more wide open. I feel like this is you feel like you're more in it when you're riding here, and by in it there's a lot more of these kind of spots where you can stop and check it out, and scenery and the rock bluffs, you can see them right up close, versus on bigger mountains it's like, oh, it's great, and it's 20 miles away, I think that's kind of the cool thing about Arkansas is it feels more you're in it, I guess.
Now we are out in the middle of nowhere, so you want to be mindful that you might not always have cell service. So you want to make sure you have a good tablet that has GPS.
Off-road maps.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because that is a real fear. We've heard horror stories of people breaking down or getting lost and not knowing where they're at, and so you definitely want to make sure you have.
The other thing to be mindful of out here also, there is not a lot of gas stations.
Yes.
There's very few gas stations, to be real honest, so making sure you bring the right amount of fuel and jugs and everything.
Definitely.
The travel of distance can be great, and it doesn't take long to get out further than you realize, and you're out of gas, and there's nothing out here for gas.
Yeah, totally. All right, GC, so if you were making plans to come down to Arkansas, like what time of year?
What time of year? That is a great question. So in my opinion, the best time of year here is in the spring, probably March to June?
March to May.
March to May.
Yeah.
After the winter, we've had several rains by then, so all the waterfalls and creeks are all going. Everything's starting to brighten up and come back to life.
Yeah, and then you got dogwoods blooming and redbuds.
You get into the summer here, it is still good fun riding, but it does get brutally hot and dusty and dry.
Very dusty.
Mostly in the summer, it's a good thing just to go ride to a swim hole, to be honest.
Yeah, that's why we suggested Buckhorn in the summer, because Lee Creek always has a good amount of water.
Yes, correct. Where around the Mill Creek area it tends to get dried up pretty good.
Yeah.
The winters here are very fun. The cool thing about winter is there ain't no leaves on the trees, so you can really see through the woods and see all the different overlooks and outcrops and
no spiders, no snakes.
No spiders, no snakes. Yes.
Fall is a good time.
Fall is great. It is beautiful here with all the trees.
Yeah, peaks usually around end of October and beginning of November.
Yeah, and around that time too, the temperatures are pretty mild, but yet still warm and decent out. So I would say the summer here is probably the most toughest for riding.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I feel like fall, spring, or fall, winter, and spring are probably your best time of year.
Yeah, spring being the best, especially
yes.
after some rains.
Yes, absolutely.
After some rains, the Ozark National Forest just comes to life. There's waterfalls all along every road, and
yes.
it's beautiful.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
Sure.
Especially when all the spring flowering trees are popping.
Yes.
It's gorgeous.
It is. It's beautiful.
All right, cool.
Another thing we kind of thought of as a topic, there is a little bit of confusion on, everybody wants to refer to an area as the Mulberry Mountain. And Mulberry Mountain is a campground. It is not a trail system, and it is not, it's just a campground. Max Pines is another one that's misinterpreted. It is just a campground. It is over by the Moccasin Gap area. So
where Mulberry Mountain is by Mill Creek.
Correct.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that Mulberry Mountain is the riding. It is not the riding. It is just a campground.
Yeah.
Max Pines is not the riding. It is just a campground.
So also a good thing to note, we have Buckhorn, Mill Creek, Moccasin Gap, but there's also endless possibilities of county roads that go to other trails in the area.
In and throughout.
Yeah.
And with the correct good off-road maps, you can find those trails.
Yep. You get yourself a good MVUM and you're golden.
That's right.
Or just go to our Patreon and get some tracks.
That's right.
All right, juicy, cool. Wow. Okay, well, we better wrap up this video. I think people are gonna fall asleep.
Hopefully this helps with everything and helps with some of the questions. I'm sure there will be more, which is totally fine. We'll try to help the best we can.
If you want other questions, you can reach out to us either through our Patreon or through our Facebook page, or we're both on Instagram, so you can find us there. If you want to check out the trails virtually, you can watch all of our videos, and we do try to do a good mix. Now, we don't get out to magazine a lot. We didn't really talk about Mount Magazine.
Yeah, that's in a whole different.
Yeah, that's
a whole different national forest.
Yeah. And there are, I mean, we could go on and on because you could jump down to the Ouachitas.
That's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother national forest in Arkansas. So I mean, the possibilities of off-roading in Arkansas are kind of like mind-blowing.
Almost unlimited.
Yeah. Unlimited, to be honest. And that's precisely why we came down here on vacation in 2018.
Yes.
Or maybe 17, something like that. And then again and again. And then we're like, we're moving here.
We fell in love.
Now
this is what we love to do.
Yeah. Now we do it every weekend. So I feel like we're kind of experts in this area-ish.
We're getting there.
Yeah. I mean, Juicy can drive around, not look at the map. So yeah, so if you want to see more of what the trails have to offer, keep watching our page.
Yep.
We have videos every week. And
if you want tracks of the different routes we take, just check us out on our Patreon.
Yep. Yeah, you can get all of our tracks there. That way you don't have to worry about getting lost in the national forest and getting ate by a bear.
It does get confusing out here. It can be, there's a lot of side trails that go to nowhere, and it don't take much to think that you're on the right trail, and then you hit a side trail and you're out lost, and then trying to get turned around, and if you got other people with you, it becomes very complicated.
Oh yes,
so
for sure.
Hopefully our tracks kind of help with that.
Yeah.
We try to do it as a big loop or an out and back style, so that way we can at least get you out to a good point of interest and get you back.
Yeah, we had enough people asking for tracks that we ended up just starting the Patreon, because it's the easiest way to share that data with anyone at any time.
Yes.
So yeah, anyway, Juicy, we better wrap this up, clock out. What do you say, Juicy?
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all.
Always an adventure.
Yeah, I hope y'all get down to Arkansas. It is awesome down here.
It's beautiful here.
Yeah, it's a great place to get outside and breathe some fresh air.
Absolutely 100% a good outside state.
And you will be refreshed and renewed after you unplug and unwind in Arkansas.
Yes, absolutely.
All right,
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, buddy. Later. Bye.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Got a Kawasaki Terex 4 Blackout Edition.
it sound right, boys.